Let's get to the core of this video, pun intended. Alright, as you know, my core mold drops, I don't know, somewhere between 82 and 84 grain. Oop. Okay. So, oh, let's see. There's no extra to be had. You know, the 84s just squeak out 100 grainers. Not that I need them, but I want to see somebody test them one of these days. And you can see this mold just can't be drilled any further to eke out another grain. Now, this is listed as 1-inch depth. Whoops, this line right here, you can see where the point starts. That's the 1-inch depth. This is an extra couple grains probably. As you can see, this thing a bit long in the tooth, been given too many hot suppers, and I need to start babying it. Originally, actually, BT Sniper suggested, and I stupidly said no, to drill different depths, different weights. And I was like, I don't want to sort through them, blah blah. And I'm paying for that in extra effort, wear and tear on my press. You know, what I should have done, if I really would have known, is had them drill like 2 deep ones, 3 medium ones, and the rest, is that 6? Yeah, that's 5 from 11. 6 more, 6 for 55 grains, and that would have been pretty proportional to what I need. Yeah, 2 super heavies, 3 for, you know, 77, 80, you know, anywhere in there, easily. What I did was this. Yeah, it's only a 6 cavity, but you know, I've only got a drill press, so I made this. I'm a drill press. Now this is the simplest mold you can make. There's, you know, no specialty reamers needed. You can see I got a lot more meat left. Now, you can see that, come on, this line I scribed, that's 0.085 inch. You can see my flat is just below it. So I'm a little above what I was shooting for, and you can probably tell that this point is different. Oops. You'll see here there's a definite difference. The old one's on the left, the new one's on the right. What I did was I bought a used reamer off eBay, and it's a pilot bit. Not knowing anything about reamers or, you know, millwork or anything like that, I went with this, and then, you know, found out, hey, there's a difference. So I had to drill a little deeper to make up for the extra. So who knows what the weight difference is in that point versus the other? Don't know, but it worked, and it was only like $10. So, you know, it's not much under what it started out at. It's, you know, slightly worn, well within, you know, what I was shooting for. So, hey, oh, if you're gonna buy one of these, go through Titan. Titan's cheap, probably the cheapest going. even with shipping, they were cheaper than Lee with their shipping, because they're $50 instead of, or no, are they $40? I have to look it up, put it in here. But it was, yes, I know who I'm buying from. Difference. Now, like I said, I made it on my drill press. Yeah, I use a drill press vise, and it's not perfect. And I was ever so slightly off center. I mean, it was so close, I couldn't tell the difference. You know, visually it was, all right, you just barely tell. Barely. So what I did was I spun it around and ran through again, which, added thousandths or two. Because what I didn't want was, it's supposed to be half of a circle. If you're over too far, well, then it starts closing up, and I didn't want that, so I spun it around to make sure it would take that out. And found out, it was cutting a little bit. Yeah, I was off a touch, But they still work fine. They drop, I dare say, better than my original mold. A lot of times I open it up and they all drop out. Now, somewhere in the center, these are just slightly oversized. Just how things worked out. They're not perfectly strict, cylindrical. And I can push them by hand into the die, so far, and then they'll bind. At least on some of them. Where the other ones I can shove all the way up. But it really only takes the weight of the handle, maybe just a gentle nudge on it, and they go right in. So they're only like a thousandth or so bigger, lead soft. It's not an issue. And for being made on my drill press, not knowing what I'm doing, I'm pleasantly shocked, that it came out as good. I was like, am I gonna have to throw this thing away when I'm done? Is it gonna be, is it gonna come out? But, close enough. The next one, if I make another one, it'd be that much better, because I have, learned something. Learned that I need a mill. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, I need a mill if I'm gonna do that. That would be awesome. But, and then I would drill 3 different depths and have, everything I need nicely. But yeah, I mean, like, when I got done, there was a little, when I held these together, out of the handles, they would rock back and forth a touch. What happened was, it built up right at the bottom. There was a little lip built from drilling. I just took a razor blade and carefully shaved it down until it didn't rock anymore. You slide along, you can find where the lip is. You just bring down the lip. Not all of them had a problem, but a few. And now it's closes perfectly, no leaks. If budget would have had the extra, I would have bought 2 and then made one just for 55 grains, and I would, 6 at a shot of whatever I needed. Now, dropping 6 versus 11, production difference is quite noticeable. I mean, like, okay, I got almost double the pores. Doesn't get as heavy as fast, but still twice as long to get where you're going. Okay, let's see. Okay, like I said, these are what? Now in the box it says, it's a .184 diameter. Either they're worn or, you know, whatever. I used, it was actually a .188 reamer that had been, you know, used down a touch. But like I said, I was a little off and turned around and re-reamed. I'm just a little over the die, but let's see, there's not a whole lot. Let me grab another one because it wasn't in focus. It took there was just a very little resistance. I haven't put any real, you know, that was about it. I forgot to lube that because I'm an idiot, but yeah, not a problem. You know, it's not so far out of spec that it ever give a real actual issue. Let's see, bit less tinsel, only 22. Whoops, only about 22 grain instead of closer to 40. So yeah, the old ones would drop closer to 40 grain pressed off, and that's a lot less to put your press through, put your arm through, you know, everything. So it's noticeably easier, and well, you see the length difference here. That also does is your handle, it goes down a little more, so right off the hop you've got a little more leverage. You're more pushing down instead of, you know, pulling back, so it all adds up to easier. I mean, think, was there really anything to add to that? Oh, a couple things. Now, figuring out my depth on this, on cast bullets, I found a thread. The guy does all the math, he shows you all the math, and then he actually did it, made up charts, and he figured out the number to plug in to, you know, the short 3-step equation, I think it was. Basically what it is it tells you if you have a piece of, you know, say lead wire, you know, both ends would be flat. For the diameter, and he gives a table of diameters, how long do you need to make it a certain weight. You know, it's all based on pure lead. I made this, you know, to drop range scrap. Pure lead would be a touch heavier, but it's also easier to squeeze. So you know, that helps out because I wasn't sure what to go with. And yeah, it's pretty close. Now, oh, that was the other thing. Now, as far as, yeah, I was figuring out case lengths for bullet weights. There's another thread I found. Guy got information from Berger, so that was really cool. And it tells the case weight or case length for the bullet weights. Now, interesting thing is, I would expect they would be using copper, but must be that copper and brass aren't that far off, even though brass contains roughly 30% zinc, which would make it lighter. But they're 90 grain, exactly what I came up with. Beautiful. I was shocked. You know, I couldn't have planned it better. Now they're lightweight 55 grain is the same as Corbin. The jackets you can buy from them that are cut to it's 0.705. That's the same as the 22 long rifle jackets that I don't think they've had the rims formed and they're trimmed exactly 0.705. That's the same. Now in between, I'd have to look and see if any of them line up with what I came up with. All kinds of really dialed in. But if I would have found that before, it would have made life a whole lot easier. But so I may experiment with what they did. So what I really need is a pinch trimmer. Corbin's is like $250 and that's a lot. They're also easily damaged. Well, it's the nature of a pinch trimmer. And what that is, you set it 0.02 of an inch from crashing together. So you've got 0.02 of an inch to separate the excess off the case and make it two pieces. So there's a little more to it. Now there was a guy on Cast Bullets that made them, but he hasn't been around in a while. I think his last post was 3-4 years ago. I don't remember, maybe it's only a couple, but he hasn't responded to me. And his was, I don't know, maybe $175, which is a lot more palatable. But those you can trim, perfectly square. Mouth on the case with a pull of a handle. That's very appealing. No fiddling around, just set them up and smack them out. I would love to have that option if the price is right. I don't know if anybody out there makes stuff like that. There's a market for it, and maybe a small market, but there's a market. And just letting you know. Oh, let's see, was there anything else? I'm not sure. All right, well, I'll see you next time, and you have a good one. God bless. See ya.